Strong Enough merch is now available. Go to strongenoughpod.com and check out all the stuff that you can get so that you'll have those daily reminders that you are strong enough, you are worth it. Welcome to the Strong Enough Podcast, where we talk about the challenges and celebrate the triumphs of people just like you. I'm your host, Claudia. Today's guest is making her second appearance here on Strong Enough. She recently went through a traumatic event, and she's going to share with you how she's been able to forgive, shed that victim mentality, and not let fear rule her life. Please help me welcome Konisha Rhone. Konisha, how are you today, my love? I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
It's been a long time. I am wonderful. How are you?
I am well. And for those people that don't know you or remember you, you were an early guest on this podcast. And dare I say, a fairly amazing guest.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I had fun. I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
I am too. And I'm going to go ahead and just let the cat out of the bag here that we don't really have a plan. We have an idea and we're just going to let it go where it goes. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Yes. We'll have fun.
Awesome. So why don't we start, though, for the people that didn't see your first episode, and we'll go ahead and give them a naughty look later. But for those people, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Konisha. I live in North Carolina, North Kakalaki. I am an intuitive empath. Which I'm a highly sensitive person. And what else? Right now, I am working on some healing of myself, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I'm taking time to do that because for a large part of my life, I've worked on helping others heal. And like right now, I'm working on that for myself. I don't know. That's about it, I guess. I mean, there's so much more, but I don't even know.
So much more we could say about you, but we can stop there. Let me start with this question. How difficult has it been for you to focus on your own healing when you are so used to helping others?
It is a challenge. It's a challenge because everything about this world is look outside yourself, look outside, focus on other people, focus on, the stimuli, everything around you. So it takes a lot of effort to calm down and to actually focus on what's going on inside, what's going on here. And if you think about it, I mean, this world is just one big distraction. Even like social media is a really big example. We can get so in tune to what's going on in other people's lives and what's happening with other people that we neglect what's going on with us. And we neglect our own learning and healing and growing. So it's a challenge, but I'm up for the challenge because, we can't be our best selves if we are not, taking care of ourselves, and we can't help others if we are not, taking care of ourselves. So I've been using this time wisely, definitely.
Well, I would love to say that you just had this idea that you wanted to look inward and work on yourself and work through some healing. It's not exactly what happened, though. You recently went through kind of a traumatic incident, and I know there's parts you can talk about and parts that you can't, which you'll talk about why you can't talk about them. But why don't you share a little bit about what you went through that has led you to this place of needing to really look inward and do some healing and forgiveness?
Yes. Well, first of all, I started this healing journey a few months ago. So it has actually been going on for a while. But a few weeks ago, something happened in the midst of this healing journey, that really threw me off. So I was and very much emphasis on was, the victim of a crime. And like you said, I can't go into details, a lot of details. There is an ongoing investigation. So there's a lot that I can't say right now. Hopefully later I'll be able to come back and share the actual story with you because it's quite amazing. um, but through this incident, I think I think I grew personally and I learned a lot. And we've talked about this before, how our lives, we're here to learn. We're we're here in this human form to learn, right? And so I think I learned a few things about myself. So the incident, let me see what I can say. Basically, like I said, victim of a crime. So we'll start at the actual crime, like while it was going on. First of all, you never know how you're going to react in a certain situation until it actually happens. You can see something or hear about something and be like, I would do this or I would do that. You actually have no idea what you would do because I didn't react in the way that I thought that I would ever react. Um, but remember last time we talked about watching the watcher? Even at that moment, in the midst of what happening, I was able to watch the watcher. My body reacted, but only two thoughts went through my mind. Two very distinct thoughts. Only those two thoughts. First thought, yell, scream, let everybody know around what's happening. So somebody can either help you or be calling the police. Yell, yell, yell. That was a thought. The second thought, very interesting, plead to his humanity. I thought that was very interesting, very clearly, plead to his humanity. And I did. So, this happens. There were witnesses and strangers came to my aid, and I'm very thankful for them, so thankful for them. And I remember I was shaking, like after this person or these people left, I was shaking and I couldn't stop shaking. And the cops showed up, and one of the cops was trying to interview me and find out information, and I remember shaking. But Claudia, I very clearly remember Spirit speaking to me. Whoa, calm down. You're fine. Look at yourself. You're fine. Like, look at yourself. You're not harmed. You didn't get harmed. And I heard that and I felt that, and like literally, I immediately stopped shaking and I stood straight up. And I'm probably sure from the outside it probably looked very odd because it just stopped. I just was like, oh my God, I am fine. Now we have to handle business. I have to give correct information and accurate information to this police officer so we can, um, so the next day I went back to the scene of the incident. And I did that on purpose because I didn't want fear to settle into my body. So that'll happen a lot. If something traumatic happens to you you're going to avoid that place, right? You're never going to want to go there again. But I knew I didn't want fear to settle into my body. And I didn't want this incident to rule me and to rule, certain things. I'm definitely a lot more cautious of my surroundings, which I'm always very alert, always very alert. That's why this is what happens, just absolutely crazy. But I didn't want fear to settle in my body, so I went back to the scene of the incident and just wanted to confront, and just be like, it's okay. Like, it's not going to happen again. It's a very little tiny bit of chance that this is ever going to happen again. And over, a few days, I had time to sit with everything. And I came to the conclusion that this was not about me. This is very odd, but this is the conclusion that I came to. I felt like these people and this person in particular, this incident was a part of their journey. They had a choice to make. They didn't make the right choice. But I feel like the universe was like, okay, this needs to happen. This scenario is going to happen. Konisha can handle it. I feel like, maybe somebody else, they would have been screwed up. And me, I'm just like, this is some shit. But I'm not going to let this, you know, like I said, I came out unscathed. So I'm not going to let it ruin me. It's not going to, So and I talked to some friends. I was like, I feel like the universe was like, this needs to be done. Kenisa can handle this. Like, let's just put her in this situation. Let her be this person. I don't know if we talked about soul contracts. Did we talk about soul contracts last time?
I think we did a little bit.
And so soul contracts, if you believe in reincarnation and coming here to this earth multiple times, basically, when you're in the other, you have made a contract with any and everybody that you come across. Even if you're just walking down the street and there's a person that you pass, that interaction, it's a soul contract. And you have tiny soul contracts and you have major soul contracts, life-changing contracts with people. And so I just feel like this was one of my contracts that I had, and I had to go through this. And I feel pretty good. I mean, considering everything, it could have went left, Claudia. Like, it really could have went left. I remember talking to my therapist about it. Yes, I have a therapist. I talked to him about it. He was like, this sounds like a movie. I was like, I know. So I think just in the last few weeks, I just learned really how strong I am. I don't even know what else to say. But a lot of times we're stronger than we think we are, and how we heal and grow and keep moving is we let things go. When that cop was interviewing me, it hadn't been 30 minutes, but already then I had decided I'm moving on. This happened in the past. Even though it was just 30 minutes ago, it was in the past, and it's not going to rule me. It's not going to control me. And sometimes that's how we have to think about things. Whenever we're suffering, it's usually because we are worried about something that's already happened, or we have anxiety, we're worried about something in the future that we have no control over anyway. Yeah.
We have a lot to discuss now. I want to start with what you just said. And there is Pastor Furtick of Elevation Church in Charlotte, North Kakalaki. And one of the things he says is worry is a down payment on a problem you don't have yet.
100%.
And what you just said really made me think about that we spend so much of our lives worried and consumed by things that might not ever even happen.
Right.
And what if we took that time back and that energy back and put it elsewhere?
Exactly.
I want to also say that you're an absolute badass, which we knew this. But as you were telling your story, there are a lot of similarities of what you talked about to when I was assaulted in Breckenridge. And I also made it a point to go back to the scene, but it took me a minute to do that. And by a minute, 6 or 8 months, maybe. It was a really long time.
Okay.
But I totally agree with what you're saying, that like it's important to take the power away from an inanimate object or a place or a space. But what gave you the strength and the ability to do that so quickly?
Because I know how the mind works. I know the power of the mind, and I know how you gotta control it. Don't let it control you. Even I saw some thoughts watching The Watcher, some thoughts come through about these people or this person, and just again, your mind, your ego is there to protect you. So it'll say certain things like, this type of person always doing this and always hurting people. I was like, no, we're gonna X-nay that. bad people or people that make bad decisions. They come in all different shapes and sizes and colors and religions and backgrounds. We're not going to label anybody. But I saw that thought try to creep in, and I caught it. I was like, X-nay, we're not doing that, right?
What is it like for you to be able to ixnay that and strike out bad people and replace it with people who make bad decisions?
Because I am a romantic when it comes to people and life, and I want to believe that when we come out of the womb, we're not bad. We're not born bad. There are things that happen to us in life, and we're treated certain ways, and we learn certain behaviors and learn certain things from people around us, from media, and sometimes that can lead people to make really bad decisions and choices. Now, ultimately, it's still their decision and choice, so it's still their fault. But I want to be able to look beyond and not have hate in my heart. So there's no fear, so there's no room for hate. And be like, you know what? They screwed up. These people and this person screwed up. What happened to them? Who hurt them? Why did they choose to do this? There's so many ways you could go and so many things you could do. Why would you choose to do this? And I know that's not most people's thoughts. Let me tell you what most people's thoughts were, including the cop that was taking all my information. You need to get a gun. You need to get your permit. You need to get a conceal and carry. And that was very disheartening to me. I understand some people need or want to. I understand. But I am not super cool with living in a society where everybody is carrying a gun, like everybody. Because if you've got somebody like me carrying, no, I don't want. I had family members call. You need to get a gun, girl. I was like, no. I just I don't want to live in that kind of society where everybody is just carrying a gun. And I think some of us have to not be carrying a gun and have to, like, again, in this situation, I wasn't harmed physically or, anything in any way. I feel protected. I don't feel like I need a gun. If anything is going to happen to me, I'm either going to be protected or it's supposed to happen. If that makes any sense. That's how I see it. So,
You made it very clear that you were a victim of a crime. So even just a few weeks later, we have shed that victim label and mentality.
100%.
You're now a survivor. I mean, you always have been a survivor. But for so many people, that's really hard. People get wrapped up in that victim mentality and
Yeah.
that state of helplessness and that feeling that, well, this happened to me and I can't be happy anymore and my life is miserable now and I have to be afraid of everything. And you don't really have an ounce of that. So I would love it if you would talk a little bit about how that feels and how you got to that place of being able to say, I was a victim, but this didn't happen to me. It happened as a part of this other person's story.
So that is what the last thing you just said is the main thing. I remove the me. I remove myself. If this had happened to anybody else, I would be like, that's some bullshit. It happened to me. That's some bullshit. And that's it. If I decided to hold on to this and be like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm staying in my house, I don't trust anybody, can't live like that. And I trust in a divine plan. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know who's making the plan, but I know there's a plan. And I walk. And every day, I think we talked about this. Part of my meditation is put me where I'm supposed to be, help me help other people. I'm here to do, the work of the light. And, that's what I do. And so that's why when I say the universe put me in that situation because I could handle it, that's part of my thing. Put me where I'm supposed. Let me do some work here. Let me do some work. And I think on that day I did some work. It wasn't fun work, but I got through it unscathed. Got through it, and everybody's different, and I don't expect everybody to think like I do and do what I do, but it's possible. It's very possible to experience things and to just experience, not to let it rule you and, make you be someone that you're not, put hate in your heart or anything crazy, but it's a choice. And it takes a strong person, but we all have the potential to be that strong person.
I love that you were able to do that, that you were able to pull the me out of it, because that's the hardest thing I think for any of us to do, and also to forgive. We've talked a lot on this podcast about forgiveness, and there's different trains of thought on forgiveness. And do you have to forgive? Do you not have to forgive? Yes, it's for me, but is it necessary? What was it like for you? It sounds like, honestly, in the 30 minutes to an hour after, that you forgave this individual for their bad decision.
Yeah, I mean later on that night, I think the next day is when I really started to be able to kind of process everything. And I felt bad for these people and this person that did this because I was like, who fucked them up? Like, to who messed you up so much that these are the choices that you want to make with your life. And I wish that I could sit and have a conversation with you because I don't have hate in my heart. I don't have, because I know that you are somebody's son and you're somebody's brother or sister or cousin or nephew. And there are people out there that love you. You may not feel it, but there are people out there that love you and care about you. And somewhere along the line, you got messed up. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that no one got, you know, hurt in the situation. But that might not be next time. Continue to go down this road, you're gonna get shot in the face. Because just because I don't carry, it doesn't mean a lot of people, aren't caring. And I think I forgave him literally, if not that day, the very next day. I was just like, I'm not mad at this person. I'm annoyed. I was more annoyed than anything, but I never was angry. Um, and like I said, I didn't allow fear to set in. So it's like on to the next one.
I know that people right now are looking at you or listening to you and thinking, how the hell does she do this?
Right.
I don't think you're crazy. I think it's envious that you are able to really separate yourself from the events and move forward. You mentioned wanting to have a conversation with this individual. So, without giving anything away that you shouldn't give
Right.
away, that could be an option at some point. If this individual is caught, you may have that opportunity to have a conversation if they are willing to do that. So, what would you say?
um, I would definitely want to know why. Um, I would just want to know why. I have to see how deep this person is able to go. Um, and, just let them know that there are other options. And again, it has to do with the mentality, because some people, you and I can have this conversation. You can have certain conversations with some people and they're willing to go a little bit deeper. But some people, there's so much ego, there's so much ego there to protect them, and they're hard and they're tough and they've got this big front up, and you can't get through to that. So, if he was open to be honest and to really understand that it doesn't have to be this way, I would I just want to have a conversation. So I'm just very interested in the mind and how the mind works, and I would just be interested to just have a general conversation with him and uh, just see where his mind is. Like, why would you do that?
Would you be in a position where if this person asked or needed it, that you would have some type of ongoing relationship to help them or to learn more about them and see if you could make a difference in their life?
I would meditate on that. I am not Captain Save-A-Ho, and I'm learning that through my healing. I'm learning that through my healing. I'm not out here to save everybody. My work could be done in that situation. But if something else is meant to happen there, I'm sure the universe will let me know. My guides will let me know. But just me, myself, and I'm done with it. I'm done with it. But again, if there's work there to be done that I am meant to do, I will do it.
I was excited there for a second because we were going to be able to get you a cape, the Captain Save a Ho cape, and now we can't. So I'm a little sad about that, but I'll get over it. It
No,
will
ma'am.
be fine. One thing I really resonated with that you said was that you accepted that there was a reason that you were put in this situation, and it's because Konisha could handle it. Konisha was strong enough to come out unscathed, or
Right,
mostly unscathed.
right,
Again, I see a similarity because I eventually had the same thought with what happened to me, and I saw it as I had the strength to tell what happened to me so that it hopefully wouldn't happen to anybody else. I still was not real pleased, though, that the universe or God or whoever decided I was strong enough to handle it.
right.
So, where does that come from in you? And again, so quickly, because for me, it was a minute before I was like, you know what? Like, I get it. I had to go through this because I could make a positive impact and make a change.
Right.
But you did it again in moments almost. Where does that come from inside you?
Um, I honestly have no idea. I wish I could explain it, 'cause if I could explain it, I could, just pass it out to everybody. um, I don't know. I think I see the world maybe through a very different lens than most. But you did what you did in your own time. We all have different, time scales or how we learn, how quickly we learn, how many times it takes us to, so I don't know how or why I did it that fast. But again, I'm in therapy. So that's maybe he can help me work that out.
I'm a big believer in therapy. We know this. I'm also in therapy. I love my therapist. I call her
Hey,
Potatoes. It's not her name. I don't know how she got that nickname that I kind of do, but it's irrelevant. But I love potatoes. So, and the other kind of potato, I love those as well. Carbs are delicious. Anyway, so what I would love for you to do is talk a little bit to the people that aren't as in touch with forgiveness and with letting fear go as you are. Talk to the people who have had a traumatic experience and are just still in that place of shame, fear, guilt.
right.
What can we say to help them move even just a step closer to healing?
Um, I would say feel it. Don't deny when something traumatic happens, you have to feel it. It's an experience. And a traumatic experience is trauma. You're being traumatized, and there's no shame in that. But in order to heal and to move on, we can't sit and stew in it. Okay? It happened in the past. Even if it was just 2 minutes ago, it's the past. And we suffer when we hold on to things that happened in the past. And so I'm not here to judge anyone, and I'm not here to say how long it's going to take, someone to heal. And I don't like to say the word get over it, because some things you never get over. It's about healing. So letting go, that that's what it is. It's letting go. And most people, whether either subconsciously or not, hold on to stuff. Hold on to stuff. And I learned that you have to just let stuff flow. Just let stuff keep going. Life is like this. You just let it keep going. And you don't hold on to anything. Even good stuff. You don't hold on to it. You enjoy it while it's there, and then you let it go. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all of it, the good, the bad, the scary, the lovely, it's just passing. Just as we are just passing through this earth, right? So
In your experience, so in the moment that the crime happened and then the subsequent moments since then, what has surprised you the most about yourself and your strength or resilience?
Um, well, part of it I can't say because it'll have to be for next time once everything's under. But
A teaser, I love it.
it's pretty crazy. I never would have thought in a million years I would have reacted this way. But it's almost like my body just went into its own. I don't know. I didn't think something happened, and I didn't think. I just acted, and I never would have thought that I would have done that. So I, again, just thinking, okay, sometimes we're a lot stronger than we think we are. And I feel like, okay, I handled that like a boss. So, let's on to the next one. That's all I can say. It's just like, I don't know.
When you look at how you reacted and you said it was not what you expected of yourself.
Hmm.
So I think a lot of us do have that, and I have talked about it here previously, where I had to forgive myself for how I reacted because I realized it was the best reaction that would keep me alive in that
Right.
moment.
Fight or flight.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I froze, but a purposeful freeze. And and when I realized that and I was able to let go and forgive myself because I was beating myself up of feeling like, man, I'm a fighter. Like I am a fighter. I love to fight. So why in that moment didn't I? And through some EMDR therapy is how I realized, oh, I froze because that's what was going to keep me alive.
Exactly.
That was what was going to get me to the finish line.
Exactly.
So when you reacted differently than you thought, was there anything that took you a minute to say, no, it's okay that I did this or that because that's what got me through to where I am right now?
Um, I think everything happened as it should. It could have ended a lot worse than it did, but like I said, I felt protected, and everything that transpired, I think, was supposed to happen. Especially again to hear plead to his humanity.
Mm-hmm.
It more had to do with him. What I said to him during the altercation or during the crime, he had a choice. he had a choice. And I think everything happened as it should. Now, if something like this was to happen again, I don't I don't know, because I've experienced this now, I don't know if I would do the same thing, but I'm gonna be real and tell you I don't know what I would do, because we honestly can't say. Everybody's always like, I do this and I do. You actually have no idea what you would do if you're in a certain situation like this. So I just, again, I pray for protection every morning, and then I just keep go about my day. And I just feel like when the time comes, you'll know what to do. Even though you don't know, you'll know.
You'll do it.
Yeah, you're just gonna do it. Yeah.
Have you had to have that conversation with some friends and family as far as, "No, Kelly, you wouldn't have you wouldn't have showed up and karate chopped him in the neck because you don't know." So, like, have you had those honest conversations with some people who
Um,
told you what they would have done?
um,
We love Kelly, by the way, and he doesn't know we're talking about him, so it's fine.
and he was so amazing, by the way. I appreciate him so much during that time. Um, I don't know. I think the more most conversations centered around me getting a gun, and I was just like, no, I don't want. I think I'm trying to think of responses when I talk to my friends. Um, Most of them are just kind of shocked at what happened and how it happened. And again, great teaser, because eventually I'll be able to tell you, and you're just gonna be like, no way, guess what? Um, and I actually have pretty cool and smart friends, and there was nobody that was just like, I would have done this or I would have done that. They're just like, holy shit. Like, I don't know how you, what in God's name. Like, it just happened. And I don't know.
Or like me that says, "That's some bullshit."
Exactly, exactly. So, but yeah, just another story, that we'll get to tell, because I know great things, amazing things are around the corner. They have to be. Like, I'm 100%. I'm like, all right, it's almost time. Like, I've been through a lot here in this last year, and there is something awesome like around the corner. You just gotta hold on. Just, you know.
You have been through a lot in the last year and even before that. And one of the things that we talked about the last time you were here was kind of moving into a new job, a new career path, a place that seemed better suited for you. So, why don't you just give us a little update on, in general, life of Konisha in the last year?
Oh my gosh. Well, like I said, I've been on my healing journey. So I haven't been working a 9 to 5 for quite a while. Since like March, I want to say. And I know that I'm on the right path, because it's scary. It's scary not to have, that bi-weekly check coming in, like, having a career, but that's not the path I'm supposed to be on. And it is super scary to say it, to think it. But, I ended up with a really good, actually, it was a great job. I was making amazing money, the most money I've ever made in my life. It was a cushy job. Um, and I got sick. I got sick. And I knew part of it was because I wasn't supposed to get too comfortable there. That's not where I was supposed to be. So a lot of people don't realize that. Sometimes we get what we think we want or what we think we're supposed to have, and we may start to get physically ill because that's we're on the wrong path. And when I tell you, as soon as I separated from that job, which they're so amazing, they're just so amazing, but I separated from them and my health started to get better. Like, it was, I can't explain it, but my physical definitely started to get better. and my mental and emotional. And so right now it's a little bit scary, but I'm walking in faith that, I'm doing the right things and I'm where I'm supposed to be. So whatever that next step is, I'm preparing for it.
I'm hoping that next step is soon that we are lottery winners, if I'm
Woo-hoo.
being honest. Yes, we have that lottery pool that Konisha runs, and you're winning us the big money,
Yes,
and it's gonna happen soon.
it
What does
is.
it feel like to allow yourself to be in that space that's scary, where a lot of people would say, "No, I'm physically ill, but I can't leave the job. I gotta have this security. I gotta have this safety."
Right.
What is it like for you to be able to not have that and have a little scariness or a lot of scariness in your life?
It's a funky adventure, girl. That's what it is. It's a funky adventure. It's really about having faith. And it's not like I'm out here and I'm like, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I don't want to have a job, blah, blah, blah. Um, no, there is something else and I don't know what it is. I'm not going to pretend I know what it is. So I pray and meditate every day. Put me where I'm supposed to be. Guide me, let me know if I'm on the right path, if I'm not. And things have just fallen into place so that I am taken care of. Roof over my head, food to eat, bills are paid. So something is, I'm not struggling, I'm not suffering. So I'm doing something right. And we are natural, most of us control freaks, and we want to know what's going to happen. We want to be able to plan things out and we want them to go our way. And when it doesn't, we freak out, we're angry, we're scared. And I'm just learning, no, I trust my maker. And I trust I'm doing the best I can. I'm throwing my darts. I'm doing the best I can. I'm taking it day by day. And this is where I'm at. So
If you had to guess where your darts are headed, what would you say?
I'm hoping for, wait, let me say it right. Philanthropy. Did I say that right?
Philanthropy.
Yeah, see, you say it so
Yeah.
easily. It's a little
Well,
challenging for me to
it's
say.
in my job title. It's in my 9 to 5 job title.
Okay,
So,
that's
yeah.
awesome. That is what I hope is in my future. But I don't know. I love kids. I don't have any kids of my own. I've always, in the back of my head, thought about being a foster mom, actually, an emergency foster mom. Um, so I thought about that. I love working with animals. And wait, can I bring this up? I've just had some experiences with animals the last few weeks, and I'm just like, so first of all, the day that I, the day after when I went back to
Mhm.
the scene of the crime to make sure that fear didn't settle in, I got out of my car and I parked next to a big red truck with this really pretty black puppy in there, and they were like excited. I was just like, oh my god. And so I walked into the vicinity, and the first person I saw, I knew that I was like, "Is that your red truck?" He said, "Yeah." I was like, "Can I meet your puppy?" And he said, "Yeah." And we went back to his truck, and just for a few minutes, I just got to, and it just calmed my soul so much. Just to get that love from that puppy. A lot of people, I know it sounds crazy, a lot of people, but
Not crazy.
between that and like literally last week, I was out walking a trail and I saw this family of deer having breakfast. And I was in heaven for like 30 minutes. I just watched them. And I filmed for about 5 minutes and I was just like, no, I just want to be here and I want to enjoy this. And I'm, in this forest like setting and leaves are falling and they're changing colors and it's so quiet and I'm just watching these deer and I literally started crying. Like it was so beautiful and peaceful. And that to me is like, and then the other thing, this is so weird. I had just come back. This was uh maybe a month ago. Maybe not quite a month, but a few weeks ago. I had come back from somewhere and I was sitting in my car. I parked my car and I opened the door and I was just looking on my phone before I went into the house. And I see something off the side of my eye coming towards me. And I turn and look and there's a squirrel looking at me. And he's walking towards me and walking towards my car. And I'm literally like, what the fuck? Because squirrels don't do that. Like, they don't come to us. And so I'm just looking at it, and it's looking at me, and he's just inching towards me. And I was like, this bitch is going to jump in my car. I mean, I was kind of excited. But I was like, he's gonna jump in my car. And I looked over and there was some water in my seat. I was like, maybe he's thirsty. I was like, I'll give him some water. I'm such a freak. But he just inches closer and closer. And I'm like, he's gonna start talking to me any moment now. He's gonna start talking. It was so weird. But he just walked on past me under my car, but he brushed against my leg. He was so close to me, like I felt his tail on my leg. And I was like, wow, like that's a brave mofo. They don't get that close to us. They don't, just the eye contact. Like I almost want to be like, come on, little buddy. But then I know if he had jumped, I would have been screaming. Even though I want to be his friend, I definitely would have been screaming.
Let me tell you, 4 or 5 years ago, I guess it was like 5 years ago, I had a chipmunk in my condo. So chipmunks, is it plural, chipmunks?
Yes, you can say chipmunks. Mm-hmm.
Those little guys are so cute until they're in your house. And I just envision going to sleep and waking up with him right here.
Right.
And the only thing I had that was chipmunk-ish was like some curry peanuts or something. I was like, well, I mean, I guess he won't appreciate the curry, but maybe I can at least get him to eat the nuts. And like 24 hours later, I was able to get him out and promptly bought a little thing to go under the door so that
is that how he got in?
Yep. He got in under the condo door.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, all this to say, agree, super cute until they're in your face or in your condo and you're waiting for them to be right here as you're in the bed.
Oh
Not
my
so
gosh.
cute then. Not so
How
cute.
long was he in there?
A day.
Just one day. Okay.
Well, a night. I had to sleep.
Were you able to sleep?
Not really.
I don't think I'd be able to sleep.
No, because I really was fearful that like this asshole is going to end up like on the bed with me, and like that's not going to go well.
That's hilarious.
But they're super cute outside.
Damn. Yes, outside. And I often wonder, I look at squirrels sometimes and I'm like, why are we so mean to rats? Because a squirrel is kind of like a rat with a furry tail. That's just something to think about.
It's about looks. It's all about looks because rats like have that long, ugly tail. If you add some bushy fur to it, and people be in love with them.
And the thing is, they're really smart. Like, they're really smart, and they probably I heard they make good pets, and they're probably really friendly. I don't know. I know I walked out of the store. Now, this was just a couple days ago. I had walked to Walmart, and I was walking out, and I see this big bug from a distance on its back. I was like, oh, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to help it. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to be a good human being. And so I get closer, and I see it's a water bug. And I was like, oh, you're disgusting. I can't help you. Oh, you're going to have to die. I'm not flipping you over. You're not going to be in my house.
Not you, buddy. Not you.
I was like, oh, that wasn't very kind. I'm like, oh, well.
I'll flip over the next one. Let's divert the conversation here because this has been heavy. It's been good.
Yes, laughter. I'm glad we're laughing at this point.
Me too. So let's talk a little bit about tattoos. Last time you were here, we did discuss that while you are a total badass and a bad bitch, not such a badass that you want to have a needle poked into your skin repeatedly.
Can't do it.
To have a tattoo. But you're okay with henna. You're okay with temporary tattoos. We're working on some temp tattoo sponsorships here, so
Mm.
I'll just give that little teaser. But let's say you're eliminating all the traditional barriers. So it's not going to hurt, it's not going to cost anything, and you can snap your fingers and you can make it appear and disappear as you so desire. So, with everything you've been through in the last year, what would our tattoo be and where would we put it?
Mm. Um, that's interesting. Maybe something around my wrist, something about maybe the Love Over Fear project, my little baby that I, haven't worked on in a little while. Um, Maybe I just get that around my wrist as a daily reminder. Besides that, there's nothing so important for me that I just want inked on my body, whether it's permanent or not. And even now, I think I might even be over henna. Like when I was younger, that was fun. Even now, I'm just like, yeah. But maybe do some stuff for fun with a friend or something. But
A little tear.
oh God, maybe, maybe you never know. We're women. We're moody. We're having this conversation now. In 20 minutes, I could change my mind.
You could be Lee Street getting a tattoo in half an hour.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly. Wait, is that Greensboro?
Yes.
You know what's weird? I was at Cracker Barrel the other day, and I ran into. You remember the N Club?
Mm-hmm.
And I was a regular at the N Club, and I ran into this guy that was
Same
also
girl, same.
that was from the N Club, and he still looked the same. He said I still look the same. It's like 20 something years.
You do, though.
Well, thank you. I feel the same. But you do too. You look the same
Thank
too.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not apparently to Yolanda, who
That was classic.
didn't recognize me.
Yeah, you can't take that personally.
I guess not.
That was classic.
I don't know if we
Yolanda.
talked about this last time or if it was right after that, but Konisha and I have a mutual friend, Yolanda. I went to Charlotte a couple years ago, got to work with her, and I see her, and I'm so excited because, like, I don't want to say we were tight, but, like, we were close. We had some good times in event marketing. And so I'm stoked to be there with her, and I'm like, hey. And she's like, hey. And I'm like, okay, well, let me rack through my brain and figure out what I did to piss her off at some point. It wasn't that, you guys. She just didn't recognize me. And then at one point she was like, wait, are you Claudia? Is that you? And I was like, yeah. And all was
about it. She felt really bad, just so you know. She felt really bad.
She did feel bad. It was kind of a blow though, you guys, because like I was so excited to see her. And I was just like, hey, we could just spend the weekend together. And she's just like,
okay. Right. That's hilarious.
I still love her, and now she's in the lottery pool as well.
Yes, she is. Yes, finally. That's good because when we won, I was like, I'm going to be taking care of her, but now she can take care of herself.
Exactly. So now you don't have to spend any of your money.
She can take care of herself. So,
Konisha, where can people find you? So if they want to try to snag a spot in the lottery pool, but let me tell you, people, there are none open right now.
We're booked. We're booked right now.
If they want to take you to get that teardrop tattoo, or if they want to go out to Bojangles with you and get a Bowberry biscuit, where can they find you?
You know what? Not a big social media person. Maybe that's something I need to work on. I am on Facebook. The Love Over Fear Project's on Facebook, and then also Konisha. You can find me using just my first name. I have a public page, and I can be found, and I like to be found, and I love meeting people and talking to people, and people want some advice on things. I'm always here to help. Not Captain Save-A-Ho, but when I can, I like to help.
You have been amazing, Konisha.
I had fun.
so much for being here. I absolutely love you. And we've already teased that there will be a part 3 when the traumatic event gets sorted out and you are able to come back and give us the entire story.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. You take care of yourself. Stay warm.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media so you'll never miss what's going on. Remember, until next week, you are strong enough and you are worth it.
Thank you for listening to the Strong Enough podcast. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform by searching Strong Enough. And on YouTube, we're on the Spear Talk channel. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Strong Enough Pod. If you have suggestions for an upcoming episode or a future guest, please reach out at strongenoughpod@gmail.com. Remember, you are worth it.